someone were to ask me what my favorite album from a certain genre would be, sometimes it's kind of hard, but with chiptunes, I usually go with Slime Girl's American Wasteland. But that's changed today because the album I'm talking about today is probably one of the best albums of the year. And I know I'm new to being a music critic, but I have no levity in saying that this is one of the best albums of the year. I don't really do a scoring system, but this is a solid 10 for me. This album is fantastic. It's one of the best chiptune albums I've ever heard. One of the best albums I've heard, period. For those of you who don't know, there's this band called Anamanaguchi. It's based in the States. They're essentially a chiptune rock-ish band where they don't just make the, little 8-bit sounds, but they also play instruments on top of it. They're most well known because they did the album or the soundtrack for the Scott Pilgrim vs. the World game, which is a fantastic game, by the way, that you can't get anymore because it's been delisted. I still have a download of it, thankfully, but if that hard drive ever dies on my Xbox 360, it's gonzo. But that album was really good, but it was more video gamey. This album is, by all means, it is their biggest, it is their darkest, and it's their best album. And what do I mean by that? Well, the album starts off with a track called USA, and then it goes into this track called Lorem Ipsum. And if you don't know what Lorem Ipsum is, it's a website where you can get basically gibberish filler text if you're trying to make a web page or you're just trying to fill out a document or something. So this album has probably some of the longest some of the longest build-ups I've ever heard. And normally I'm not a big build-up guy. I like my build-ups to be a decent length, but it takes a song and a half before it gets to the hard-hitting chiptune stuff. And normally, like I said, I don't like that, but it just works really good for this album. Songs like Lorem Ipsum are great. CRT Woods, Sunset by Plane is a fantastic track. It's fantastic. Tracks like DSX, which is, all these have great little references, by the way, to gaming and other things, and that's what's great about these guys. Then they have tracks with vocals on them, which I think is, I think On My Own, Up to You are. Don't quote me on that, I'll have to double check, but I can't say enough good about this album because there's certain things, like it is a chiptune rock album, but they also added in glitch tune stuff. If you don't know what glitch tune is, it's basically chiptune, but with like intentional glitch sounds. Like, like the sound someone like pulls a cable out of a monitor, makes like a hum or a buzz or whatever. They intentionally do this to give the album a little bit more weight, a little bit more clarity. And I could spend all day talking about this album, but it really doesn't do any good unless you go listen to it for yourself. It's on Spotify, it's on Apple Music, it's on Google Play Music. It's available. Go listen to this. I am hoping to get my hands on a physical copy of this soon. I only have it digitally. I'd love to get a vinyl because despite the popular belief, chiptune sounds great on vinyl. And just like Slime Girls, who are a chiptune rock style band, which they have chips, tune stuff, 8-bit sounds, and they also play instruments. Anamanaguchi were I wouldn't say they were the first, but they were one of the biggest bands out there at the time doing it, and that was mostly thanks to the Scott Pilgrim game. But yeah, like this is their best work. Solid album. It's a solid 10. Even if you're not even a big fan of chiptunes, even if you're just kind of curious about it, or even if you don't really care, but you want to check some new music out, give this one a listen. It's poppy, it's dark, it's big, and it's fantastic. This is, I don't think I'm going to do an album list, but this has got to be album of the year for me. Just because of how good it is. And of all things, a chiptune album. That was the last thing I thought would ever be album of the year, but I gotta say, and I gotta put this down because people might think I'm talking about this album, but Anamanaguchi's USA is currently my favorite album of the year. And go listen to it. There's plenty of ways to do it. Go listen to it. With that being said, if you enjoy my album reviews, which I think I'm going to change the name of the show from monthly album review to Zero's album review because I'm going to do them more frequently. Maybe, give me a subscribe and a follow, like, share, do all the fun stuff. I have Patreon if you want to support me. You can follow me on Facebook.com/Zeromaster fan page. You can follow me on Twitter @Zeromaster. I stream 3 times a week on Twitch.tv/Zeromaster, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Yeah, let me know in the comments down below what you think of this album. Go give it a listen. It's available on a lot of different platforms, so check it out. Thanks again for watching. Anthony Fantano, Anamanaguchi, forever.